All right, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. I see we've got a few people here. We've got Blurred Vision here. We've got Crypto Psycho here. We've got L Bubble here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Everyone seems to be ready. Sorry for the late start. My phone battery died, and so I've been trying to charge up the phone as well, so we can get the chat. But the phone's still kind of dead, so I'm just charging it now. Not to worry, I've got the chat here, so what I'll do is I'll just use this for my chat basically, and I can see the chat from here. Not to worry at all. Actually, let me do something like this, so that way when I do click this, it doesn't matter, I can see the chat. So not to worry at all, guys. Market looks all doom and gloom, right? Completely crazy. We're seeing some coins pumping: Luna, Algo, Doge, One, Axie, OMG, Poly, BUSD. When we see BUSD or any USD, is not a good thing, right? We know this, right? We see some of the major coins dumping here, 1%, 2%, 3%. We've got to understand what the market is trying to do. What is all of this about, right? And oh my God, SHIB. We lost a zero on SHIB. Did anyone even notice this? We actually lost a zero on SHIB. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think a lot of people have doubled their money on SHIB, right? Especially the guys I've been talking to recently. A few days ago, I've spoken to people and I said, look, guys, just buy $100 worth or something. Double the money. Happy days to them, right? Axie obviously pumping. I'm not sure what's going on with Axie. But any NFT projects right now is just dangerous. I'm not going to even talk about NFT projects because they can actually wreck you because they're illiquid. This is the problem with these ones. They're illiquid, right? Of course, the token's okay. You can make money on the token, but after a pump, I could easily see a massive dump coming. So I want to be very careful. I'm not going to bother with those ones. I am quite glad to see Engine come back again. So Engine has been kind of stagnant for a very long time, but it's come back. So awesome. Nothing much to worry about here. Let's have a look at Fear and Greed. I did refresh it earlier on. Fear and Greed currently sitting at 54. So the greed is coming back in, which is awesome to see. Like, last week at 26, and then now obviously looking at this and seeing how this is pumping up again. I mean, look at this, for example. Last month we were at 72 and we know what happened, right? So everything seems to be okay. I'm not really complaining too much about this dump. This dump was pretty much not expected. So this is funny thing. Yesterday, remember, we expected the market to go though. So we did say about the probability for the market to pump, and the market did pump, funnily, right? Quite funny, the market did pump, and everything was all awesome. I didn't see much of an issue. And also, why is this thing not refreshing? Have no idea, guys. Have no idea. If it doesn't want to refresh, what can we do? We've got to move on, right? We've got to move on. Let's see. Anything, guys? No, nothing. Right, let's move on. Internet is a problem. I'm not sure why, but anyway, let's move into BTC and talk about BTC, exactly where we are right now. So we see this downward channel here right now, and this is on a weekly, and I want to show you some other stuff on a monthly, and I'm going to move over to those in a bit. But I think what I want to do is, before I get into any BTC or any range or levels or any this and that and talk deeper, let's get rid of some of the altcoins first, right? What about this? Let's get rid of some of the altcoins, and let's hope this came back again. No, this is still bugging out. I'm sure a lot of people are checking it out. That's probably the reason why this is bugging out. But yeah, let's go into SHIB. Start up with SHIB. So on SHIB, what I did see was this channel, and I was doing this to that level and break. And what you can see here is there was a range I was looking at. So I was looking at this area here, and I was like, okay, if this is the area top of this market, which I was looking at this candle, what could be our range for the pump? And the pump range I was predicting here, and if you just look carefully, this is where we got rejected, just on the bottom of this range, which was pretty awesome to see. Nothing, I mean, we did do I think we did like 30% or something. Awesome, right? Ultimately, there's one thing that everybody needs to see about SHIB, is that this was a range we had to beat. This was the barrier we had to beat. This is exactly where we got rejected yesterday as well, and you can see how we've come up and we're pumping, which is good. So I'm quite happy to see what this is doing. It's broken its necklines, all of these necklines. Now it's got to just invalidate this area here. Almost did it, right? Almost did it. So patience, and all of this is coming because of one news, basically. So the founder of Shiba, he announced it yesterday on Twitter. Actually, he said how the COVID relief, the $1 billion they had for the COVID relief, that fund is now completely diluted. It's completely liquid, means that there is not going to be a chance for a dump or anything like this. So all of this is telling us that that's it. Now the whole coin is actually available on the market, and we can see this reflected in the pump itself, right? So if you go back to the coin itself, you can see how almost like, you know, we were sitting at 3 billion, and how almost we've got now almost $800 million, or yeah, $800 million come back into this, which is awesome, right? And ultimately we did go all the way to 4 billion, so that's nothing. I mean, a lot of people are now dumping. A lot of people who made money are dumping, which is absolutely fine. But again, the same people who are dumping, when they see this thing pump even more, guess what? They're going to buy at higher price. They're going to pump it even further. So everybody's been asking, shall I sell? Shall I sell? Shall I sell? No. I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't sell. If you got small amount, like, you know, I mean, look at it. It's one of those coins. You got billions of coins for a few $1,000s. So if you're getting that, just chill out, relax. It's not its time. It's still got time, right? So we went to all the way to, you know, 1. We managed to get rid of 1 0, and we're coming back down now. So we just got ourselves one more 0 back again. But you know what? These zeros can vanish, guys. Just be patient with it. The thing is, it depends on how much you've invested, right? And I've said to everybody, I said, look, when you double your money, take your half out, leave the rest. But this is not the time. This is just one day. Patience. Watch what it does when it does its thing, right? So that's what I'm looking at with SHIB. I see a good projection. Everything here is fine. We're on an upward channel. As long as we can hold above this level here today, for example, we can close a candle above this level. And tomorrow we can carry on and try it again. Do you know what I mean? So the money's going to come in and out, and also there's great news around it. I think there's some rumor going around that Robinhood is going to launch very soon as well. So there's a lot of information going on. This is becoming some global sensation right now. I mean, it's like the most talked about meme coin out there, right? And which actually has utility, right? Compared to most meme coins where you don't have any utility, this one actually does. So that's really awesome to see. And let me double check the chat as well, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, support the channel, and if you're here, then please do hit that like button. It does really help the channel propel and go further. You know, we want to make sure this community grows and community understands the market for what it is. You know, we're not here to hype anything, we're not here to pump anything, we're just here trying to be real, you know, give you some real facts on the chart, nothing more. Okay. I got him here, SHIB army, let's go. Awesome, bro. Of course, we are all part of the army. Even if you hold one SHIB, we are still part of the army, because we know what SHIB is going to do, right, in the future. Not now, obviously, right? So that's SHIB. SHIB is doing awesome. So far, as I said, everything looking awesome. And I could see this basically pumping even further. So breaking all of these, that was a key level for us, and currently finding support around this area here. It's not the best, but around here is really awesome. If we can break above and stay above, just close the body above, we should be fine. And so far so good, right? So, you know, nothing too much to be concerned about. Let this pump and let this dump. At least the dump hasn't been significant. That's the key here. So let's see what the Cardano is doing now. Cardano and Polkadot have this one pattern. I want to show you DOT as well. So this is Cardano, and look at DOT. So this is pattern forming. I'll show you the pattern. So if you look carefully at the chart, I'll zoom into it. Obviously this is on a daily. Let me get it on a lower time frame, and you see what this is doing. It's formed this channel here. This is the Cardano channel, and this is the Polkadot channel, and I'll put on the similar time frame, and you notice something. They formed a channel, but what you have to realize is they actually broke above, right? Prince is here. Awesome, brother. Awesome. How you doing, brother? So you can see we broke this channel, right? We broke this channel. We're here. We're rebounding off this. This is what you have to look at. Where are we rebounding? On this channel. So we know that it's trying to rebound off this trend line. Now, is this a bearish sign or a bullish sign? Well, I can tell you this. This is very bullish. This is very bullish, what I'm seeing here, because this is indicating that we are, you know, we're testing that resistance, we're testing that downward trend line, and then next thing we're going to do is something like this, right? It's getting ready, it's winding up for that next move, right? That's very powerful. Cardano, I don't see it as powerful. I'll be honest with you, I don't see it as powerful, because what Cardano has is it. If you look at the shorter time frame, obviously looking like this. If you look at the daily, and this is very important to see as well, it's peaked above, it's down here, it's testing that support, but it does have this bottom trend line as well, and Cardano really hasn't been doing much. It's still struggling below this particular resistance level, whereas if you look at DOT, right, and if you go back to daily on a DOT, because we want to look at them both evenly and see what's going on, you can see how DOT has come up and tested that level, right? Let's test that level. Couldn't break it, but it looks like it's got a bigger potential to actually top that. So both of them kind of following the same way. I think most of these big boys are following the same way, but I do like this trend line slightly better than what I'm seeing on Cardano. Do you know what I mean? Because Cardano is more of a flat line. If you look carefully, I did put this here, too steep, much more of a flat line, and that means that we could have a potential to even come down and test all of this line here, which is fine, and then move up, right? So it's got a higher probability of it doing something like this, but if you know, we might have a little event where Cardano just decides to break out and just pump up, and that will be good luck to everybody. You know, here this one, as I said, has a higher probability of it actually breaking this, because this line here has been there for so long. So we just need to break above this box, and then that's it. We invalidate everything and we move forward. So far so good. I'm not going to talk too much on that one. eGold, similar pattern, as you can see, similar pattern on eGold. Now eGold is showing us a lovely little pattern. I've also put a fib on here as well, and you can see previously we said, look, if we get a market top, we look at the $387, and it's still there. Currently saying we might get a $367 on the eGold, which is actually quite good to see, awesome to see. Now even if we do measure this particular triangle itself and say, okay, if we did have a breakout, what could be the breakout for the triangle? And if we take this and we put it here, it's quite funny. Check this out. Boom, pretty much bang on the line, right? So all of this is indicating that if we did have a breakout, we are going to potentially see this. Even if I take it to all the way to the edge here, you can see this actually coincides with the actual fib lines, right? Which is awesome to see, because that's what it's showing us, that if we broke out, we can actually break out and pump all the way up to there. However, this is a ascending, well, kind of an ascending but symmetrical triangle, so the downside is also very similar. That means the downside, we could even come all the way back down to $180 if the market flipped. But so far, I'm seeing so much bullish information on the charts. It just says to me, this market just wants to break, right? We do have big boys coming out and dumping on the people. That's fine, right? As long as we can hold the foot line, hold the fort, we're going to move forward, right? Solana, again, a lot of people bought Solana here, decided to take their 10, 15, 20% dump. That's all they did. But other than that, I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is the neckline. It broke the neckline. Of course, it came down. That's fine, right? It just came down a little bit, but still higher than this low. So far so good, right? A little rejection in the market, no harm in that. From what I'm seeing, it's still higher than this low, and every other low we got there. So that's all indicating that, look, we're going to come, we might come back down a little bit, bounce around a little bit. Worst case scenario, we'll come back down here, do this, and then eventually break out. But the breakout that you want to see is actually very powerful. So I've put a fib line here as well, just to make sure how it's working on. KR's here. Awesome, brother. Nice to see you. So I can see that the pump could take us to $244, and let's try and confirm that and see if that is the case, right? So we take top of the channel, we take bottom of the channel, which is approximately here. And if we put this over on this, what do we see? You can see that this also confirms that the breakout would be around the fib level. So all of this is indicating that the breakout will take us to the fib level. Worst case scenario, I mean, for us, if we did have a downward momentum and the market decided to be a little bit bearish, we can see we might go back down to the $124. No harm at all. No issues at all. Free energies here. Awesome. Everybody's here. This is awesome. This is how we like to see the chat, guys. This is how we like to see the chat. Show me your coins. If you have a coin, we're going to talk about that as well. Next one we're going to do is Ethereum. So I'm just going to kind of fly through these, because obviously you know me, I always like to talk about BTC. So if we're talking about Ethereum, we can see that we've got these two little trend lines here. Trend line number 1 here, trend line number 2 here. And you can see this upward momentum trend line, which is actually obviously one of the best lines to see. Now, again, similar to Solana, we've had a rejection here, but none of this matters, because if we did have a breakout, what we can see is this area here, especially this area here, right? If we did have a breakout, the breakout will take us up to the fib line. Again, you see the fib lines are constantly flashing to us that, look, guys, there's a higher probability we might have an upside. If we did have an upside, we're looking at a $4,500 Ethereum on the upside. On the downside, worst case scenario, we're going to have come back down to the $2,700. Do you know what I mean? It's like that base. So all of this is indicating that the upside is more high, rather than doing this and then we shoot up there. That's the kind of levels we're looking for. That's the kind of stuff we want, and I think that's going to propel the whole market. It's coming. Look, the market is just kind of right now just playing about very little. If you look carefully at the market caps, what you see is that we've been hovering around over the 2 trillion last few days. We even went all the way to I think 2.17 trillion. And from 2.17 trillion, we've come down and we've just been hovering, a little bit of profit taking here and there. Most of this money is going back into USDT. As you can see, people are unsure. So obviously from that point, they want to move it forward. Do you know what I mean? So USDT, USDC, when you see positive, you know the money's sitting in these ready to buy something up. And I think a lot of people are taking money out of the others and pumping it into these coins. Something like this, they're just FOMOing. They don't realize the risk when you don't do it when the market's already pumping, right? You buy it before, you don't do it, after the pump. So a lot of people are interested in this, but now you don't buy. You don't buy now. You wait for this market to come back down, and we'll add AXI if you want as well. Let's add AXI, for example. Let's do this. AXI. Right. Let's do this one, for example. All right. Let's do this one, AXI. So on AXI, what we need is basically something similar like this, right? And we need to find out how low it's going to go, and that's what you wait for. You wait for the downward trend, right? You wait for it to come down for you to pick it up, right? Also, give me a second, guys. Let me grab something. All right, okay, so with AXI, what we've got is, I can see SM here as well. SM, awesome, nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you on the show. Algo, we're going to talk about, definitely, bro, definitely. We're going to talk about Algo. Again, Algo, you're looking at Algo because Algo's pumped, right? It's a very common thing a lot of people do. When they see something pumping, they usually look at that. And that's a very bad thing, by the way, very bad thing. But be careful. That's all I'm going to say. But look, AXI, what you want to do is you want to wait for AXI to come back to this $88. And do you know what? The probability of it coming back to the $88 is very high, by the way. Very, very high. Because what you see here is we've got this massive wall here, right? This massive area here. It's actually more here, right? So you see this massive area here. This is the support range. Here right now, there is no support. So once the dumping starts, once all the pump is over, people have taken their money out, they are going to bring it back down here. Then we're going to see this move forward, right? So what we're going to see is something like this, where there's a trend line forming, right? Pretty much like this, right? You are going to see that. You can buy back here. So don't FOMO. That's all I'm going to say to you. If it's gone up, it's gone up. Let it go. All right, we've got Costin here as well. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Nice to see you. SM says, can show short term on ETH. Also a fractal that happened back in 2017 is apparently showing again. Right, let's have a look at Ethereum. Let's see what fractal you're talking about. Because I know a lot of people talk about these kind of stuff, right? Fractal patterns are everywhere. I'll be honest with you. If you do look at stuff like this, they're everywhere. Now, with the market, no two market is the same. Okay, so people are talking about fractal. The only fractal we can see was on a downtrend. So none of that matters. You see what I mean? So ultimately, none of this matters. You see, one thing you have to understand, I actually kind of mentioned it yesterday as well. If you look at the total market, you measure the market for what it is, right? So you just take this area and you measure this market and you measure it here. What you see is the dump, how far this dump was on the first leg. So we're just managing, what we're doing is we're just trying to copy the first leg here. And we're saying, okay, this is how far the market dumped, right? And we observe the same thing here and say, okay, how far did the market dump here? It's very simple to do, actually. A lot of people don't even understand this. So you just take this area and you say, okay, the first dump. So we're not even bothered about anything. So first bottom we got here. So we've had a 60% dump here. Fine. That's kind of a fractal, right? And we see the same thing happening here, right? So we see this, how this kind of dumped all the way down here, right? So we see this, we see a 74%, 75% dump. This is just the first wave. That's all we see. By looking at this, we can immediately see that our halfway line was here. Halfway line was here. So we climbed back up, right? And you just use this. I did this on the other video as well. So we climbed back up and we recovered from how far we dumped. We recovered 128% of this. Awesome. That's not a problem to see. And also my battery's dying like crazy. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. My phone battery is literally dying. Let me try and charge that as well. Right, so that's what we see. We see how this is happening, right? So remember, 128%, don't worry too much about that. It looks kind of confusing. You don't want to be confused. You know, we just recovered from here to here. That's all it is. So the price just doubled. That's all it means, right? 100% means the price, what it went to, it came back again, right? The difference, the low difference here was like 52%. So the recovery, that's what you look at, right? Anyway, so let's go back to this area and see what happened right now. All right, so there's, you know, I know people like to connect dots, and I've told you guys as well, that's a very bad thing to do. All right, so here you can see what's happened, right? And this is, let me just shorten it so you can see. So you can see the downward trend, we went down 60%, upward we're almost 133. Remember, it doesn't matter about 133 because you're looking at the difference. So they do confuse you a little bit. I would ignore that. And if I was to just do this, and show it to you better this way, you can see the difference, right, where we are right now. Actually, no, we're not there, we are here. So pretty similar, 51%, right? So if you just look at that, the difference, we only have 10% remaining to capture the top again, right? So the where we were, 10%, that's what we're looking at. So here you can see the difference when we did come back. Actually, let me do it this way as well, it's going to be much better. So here, when we did pump back up again, we came here. Again, I've just done it wrong, didn't I? Right, give me a second. So from here to just say here, I'm just looking at the difference, guys, right? I'm not even going to the price again. So when you look at this difference here, the peak here, you can see we were still 20% below the market. So definitely, I mean, you know, look, fractal patterns are everywhere, right? Every single wick, every single candle has some sort of a pattern. In fact, fractals are pretty much like when you look at the higher highs, higher lows, they are all fractals as well. It's just a different name for it, right? For me, what I'm seeing is, look, this market is not ending anytime soon, right? What we did recently is very insane because, you know, we had this channel, and this channel could have taken us all the way to the bottom. Right, we had this channel here which could have taken us all the way to the bottom, but we didn't. What we did was we broke above, right? And not only did we break above, I think we did 100% from there. Like, we doubled from there. So from where we were to here, yeah, so 129%. So just say double from there, right? We did that, and then we got rejected again, which is fine, right? And the rejection that we got didn't just go down all the way. Remember, we had events there. We had the Evergrande event, we had the liquidation event, we had all of these bollocks going on here, right? So when you see all of this information, you know that the market right now has just done a reset and the market wants to move up. So all the other patterns don't make any sense to us because we know what the market's going to do. This was not the bottom. We talked about it. We said, guys, this is not the bottom. And the, you know, the way I do my bottom and top is I usually use my logarithmic to kind of, currently, by the way, in the future I'll have to change this to something else, but right now I know that the market kind of follows this trend, right? So that's how I know that it doesn't matter what patterns you're going to show me, how many times you're going to connect dots, none of this matter, because ultimately this high is not this, you know, this high wasn't the high, because now we have a different high here in 2013, for example. This low wasn't the low because we have a different low here in the future. So when you're looking at the future prices, the future highs are always higher than the previous high. For me, that's an upward momentum. The trend is still your friend. For me, the previous low is lower than the you know, the future high. Sorry, future low. You know what I mean? So when we're looking at all of this, none of this matters. Right, fractals, dots, this, that, it doesn't matter. Every analyst could come around and do whatever. The only time everything matters is if this low is lower than this, if this low is lower than this 2019, 2018. When we break trend, literally come down and completely annihilate every single low that we've ever had, right? If we come back to the point where we annihilate every single, guys, this market's dead. Give me a pattern then. That's the pattern we want to look at. Right now, can't do that. Remember, I talked about fundamentals, and this is the most important thing as well. A lot of people need to understand the fundamentals, right? Market wants to go. There's no ifs and buts. Market wants to shoot. Of course, we're coming to that point. Now, there's a funny thing about the charts that if you did want to use fractals or whatever, don't use fractals. Just use date range. And that will make more sense to you if you use date range. And I want to show you this date range. When did we dump here? January. Look, this was January. The dump happened in January, right? Let's go back. When did this so no, this is not so it doesn't have an update anyway. It dumped in January. Okay, fine. Let's go to 2019. Look, 2019. When did the market peak and dump? well, pretty much the same. You can say, well, it doesn't matter. Here we had a little bit of a thing, but the market started dumping around January. That's the key here. Market started dumping around January. I mean, this was us. We're still in the bull market, right? Technically, February, there's a bit of a dump, but I wouldn't really count that. But what I'm trying to say, when the market tops out, it's usually around the end of the year. We do see these moves, right? So far, what I'm seeing here is that we could possibly top out by the end of the year. Right now, no point talking about fractals, no point talking about downward momentum or anything. Ultimately, right now, everything is up. Even on a weekly, if you look carefully, take all of this off, even on a weekly, we have technically a higher low than this. So when we're reversing trend, we have a higher low. This is not a lower low. If this becomes here, I'll be concerned. But right now, we have a higher low, so I'm okay with that. And remember, we just opened the week, guys. We just opened the week, you know. And we know Monday's usually a dump day. Usually Sunday night, whenever the traders come up, they usually dump. So none of that concerns me. Doesn't bother me. But I did mention to you guys that, look, guys, for us to invalidate the trend, I know a lot of people have been like, you know, remember I mentioned this, guys. You know I mentioned this to you guys. I mentioned this to everyone. Actually, I don't need any of this. Give me a second. I can take this off. So if you look at my drawings, right, and I mentioned this as well, right? I said, look, guys, everybody's getting excited. All the YouTubers, the stupid ones, they're coming around. They're hyping the market. Guys, we're broken out in this and that. And we broke out of this channel. And I mentioned, I said, this channel does not matter. This channel ultimately does not matter, because what happens is, for cancellation, we have to go above this neckline. So to cancel, we have to go to the 3,600 and something dollar level, 3,600, just call it 600. If we go above, then we cancel. Before that, we don't cancel anything. This is just the downward trend line. You know, this is the trend line. We broke the trend line. That doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything until we cancel this. You know, all of this area here didn't mean anything until we cancelled this. Then it meant something, and that's how we know the market wants to move up, right? The only time we should be concerned is if our lows come back to these levels, then we know the trend is now going downwards, right? So other than that, you can't really use micro data or fractals or other patterns or even pivots and all sorts of other stuff to say anything. It doesn't matter. Market cycle analysis cannot even be put onto this when you have a trend. Your trend is your friend. The biggest indicator out there is your trend indicator, and so far what I'm seeing on the trend indicator is this pattern here, and that's my friend. Simple. This is my trend. It's going up. I'm happy, right? When I see my trend going up, I'm happy. So hope that kind of makes sense. And actually, while we're on this chart, why don't I just do something? Because I was about to do something on this chart. Shall I do it on this chart? No, actually, I think I've already done it on another chart. Let me see if I've got it. Yeah, I have done it. Right, so we were talking about BTC. But before I go to BTC, let me have a look at the chat and see what's going on. So Algo, we're going to talk about, no worries. Theta, Harmony, Rune, Zilliqa. Okay, so we've got quite a few here. No worries. Okay, let's do all of this. Let's do BTC and then move over to the others, right? So this is on a weekly. I'm looking at this downward channel. Happy days. Everything seems to be awesome, right? And I have changed a few things. Remember, I had a little triangle here, so I have changed those. I said, like, get rid of my triangle. I don't need the triangle anymore, because, you know, I'm going with the trend. The trend is there, and I can see we're so close. We're so close. And remember, this one line I never changed. So if you look carefully on a daily, you'd remember there was this one trend line I never changed, and that trend line was from here. And I said, I'm going to leave it there as a reference, because in the future, we're going to come and bounce around on this line as well, right? And you can see we did. We came and we actually found resistance pretty much on this line. And you don't make stuff up like this, right? But it gets even better when you zoom in, when you really zoom into it. You're like, okay, let's zoom into this chart and what is really going on, right? That's what you want to understand. And this is what's really going on. That is so beautiful to see. Watch this. You see, if you look here and if you look here, what you're seeing is there's this area here. There's this absolute area here, like this little area here, where we've been finding resistance, right, since, let's have a look, the nearest time, right, which was since the 15th of September. So this is after the liquidation dump. We've been finding resistance here, and we're also finding resistance here, which is fine. That means when it went there, people decided to sell, dump, liquidate, or whatever. But liquidation is not the key, because I have looked at liquidations and I can tell you there wasn't many liquidations. There was a few long liquidations, but not too much, right? Especially, let's have a look at the time frame. from what I saw, there wasn't many. You see, there wasn't really many liquidations. So all of this is saying to me, liquidation is not the case here. People are literally just dumping, selling, getting the hell out of here. That's what's going on here. Awesome, SM, no worries, bro. Awesome. I'm glad you understand. Because listen, sometimes you got to just ignore the noise. You can do everything, but the fact is something else, right? That's what you got to understand. People are FOMOing into this, bro. And I'm telling you, if this thing goes back to the 65k, oh my days. I'm telling you, Elon wants to go to Mars. This thing's going to go to Saturn, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to go to Saturn. You know, because everyone's waiting for this. This is the level. By the way, even this is just to invalidate this trend, right? This is just to invalidate this short-term trend. Long-term, bro, look at this. Look at this. We got to cancel this, and we got to cancel this. We got a long way to go. You know, I mean, when you look at the money, how much money we have to make from here or pump into the market, that will make total sense to you. So if we go to the top of the market, we've got to pump in another 34%, my brother, another 34%, right? So today's price of BTC, we got to pump in another 34% into this. That means there's a, you know, close to 100, probably more $billion that has to enter BTC. Billions have to enter, right? Hundreds of billions have to enter. So it's a long way away, right? Let's not get too excited. It's a long way away, but of course, when this whole thing breaks, it is going to pump hard because of what I'm seeing so far, right? When I'm looking at these patterns on a shorter time frame, this is what I see. Let me zoom into this to show you this, because this is just insane when you see this. Look at this. When you zoom into this, what do you see? You see this undecided sideways area, okay? This area here. You see this sideways area here. Obviously, I've got too many boxes there, but that's what you see. Undecided sideways area. And so far, what I'm seeing, and if you look at this on an hourly, right, you're seeing these candles here. These are super bullish candles, right? Look at this. They dumped, we pumped, right? So all of these candles, you can see very indecisive here. Clear indication that's very indecisive. However, bulls are trying to control, you know, bears are trying to sell, because it's not liquidations. If you look at these wicks here, and I'll show you this pattern here, you're going to love this pattern. Let me get rid of this. What you see here, look at the wick. If you would even put a thing here, look at this, right? When just put a simple line here, what do you see here? You see this pattern here forming here, which is showing us basically how much. So here the bears didn't really the bulls didn't have too much control. Bulls controlling a lot more. Bulls come back again, trying to keep that level, making a brand new resistance, right? Making this a brand new resistance zone, which is awesome to see, right? When you're looking at all of this, you can understand that this is becoming a lovely little resistance zone. Sorry, a support zone, my bad, not resistance. This is resistance, this is support. That's what's happening right now. So not only are we moving back up, hopefully trying to break trend, but on a daily time frame, or even a shorter time frame, undecided of course, but creating a strong support here, a very strong support here, you know. And this is going to be a foundation for the next move, because you can't do a next move unless you have a support. Like for example here, we didn't have much support, do you know what I mean? So you got to create this support, build a brick wall before you move forward, and that's how you do certain things. Now let's get into the bigger stuff that I was going to do. So the bigger stuff that I wanted to show you was actually on a monthly. I want to show you something on a monthly that you're going to love, right? And actually what I'm going to do momentarily, and by the way, you know my chart with all the triangles that I drew, I actually lost that chart, so I can't show you that. I have to draw it all up again. But anyway, I deleted it yesterday and I lost it. So if you're asking where the hell is that chart, yeah, I lost it. This is on a monthly, nothing more. On a monthly, I just want to show you something. This is insane, right? So what I want to do is draw one single line from here, draw a very simple line to the top. So I'm just using the bodies, you know, to the top. That's all I want to do. Give me a second, guys. 1 second. So just the body, nothing more, just the body of the last two highs that we have. And let's drop it here, right? So what we've got here, we've got the body of the previous two peaks. And let me try and adjust all of this so make it look nicer. I want to show you something insane. A lot of people don't see this. So we're just going to use the body, nothing. Well, actually, let me do it better. Let me make this happen. I think, yeah, this is going to be better. Be ready to be fascinated, right? If you're a bear sitting here, you're a crypto bear, you're a Bitcoin bear, be ready to change your mind, because you're not going to be a bear after you see this. This is the top. This is the top. So what we've got here, what we're trying to do is find our resistance point. This is where we will find resistance. And what we're trying to do here is find our support. Right, so we found our support. Actually make it shorter. So this is on a monthly. We found support here. Perfect. We're looking for support here. These are the bottom of the market. Support here. We're looking for support. I'm going to draw another one. Put it here. Very simple. So we've done 3 things here. Very simple. Now what we want to do, take the line from the top to where we are right now, where all the supports have been met. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, we're going to go and move this all the way to the future and find these. This was our resistance. This is where we got first rejected. We broke out of this area. We came here. We did this, whatever. We came here. We found support here again. And this is what we've been doing so far. You're probably wondering, what the hell is this guy trying to show us? I'll tell you what I'm trying to show you. Look on the bottom here. This is the bottom here. Look at the date here. Can you see the date? If you can't see the date, let me highlight it for you. I'll put a little one here. Let's just put one randomly here. Let's put one. Yeah, let's put one here. There you go. Just a random line that highlights the date for you. Now, if you can see the date here, this is 1st of July 2025. 2025, my people. Let's have a look. Let's put a line and see what the price was for 2025. We're not even looking at the top, by the way. Just looking at the bottom of the market. Just the bottom of the market. Okay, just the bottom of the market. That's 2025, bottom of the market. I don't know the top because there's no top, by the way. There is absolutely no top. Until we get this top, there is no top. Does that make any sense to you? So what we need to do is get this to give us a top somewhere down here, or maybe down here. When we see this, we'll adjust this line. But until then, we can only go by what we have, right? And what we have now is the bottoms and these 2 peaks here. And this is 2025. This is after the halvening in 2024. Because remember, in 2024, approximately around here, we're going to have a halvening, right? And after the halvening, we usually see a pump. So yeah, that's what we're seeing, right? So 2024, approximately, say around here, March. Let's put it around here. So this is a halvening. So what's the price going to be around the halvening level if we did price it all in right now? Well, we're looking at about 83, which is not bad, right? So we've got 83 around that time. We've got around 200k bottom around 2025. Obviously, this is all hypothetical. This could never come true. This is just a dream. This is just a moon boy thing. But that's what the chart is telling me. That's all I want to use, right? I'm just going to use what the chart is telling me, because the chart always says certain things, and you know, it's just a matter of how we translate it. And if we took this bottom, for example, and said, okay, fine, that's what you got, and we had all of this area here, and how about this bottom here? It's fine. If we use this bottom, it says this was the resistance. Look, the bottom, the top, resistance. What did we find here? Quite funny, right? Resistance. Look, oh, it doesn't even show. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Right, because these lines, a lot of these lines, they don't want to play. Let's do this again. Bottom, and all we're doing is bottom, bottom, resistance, resistance. So this is what we've had right now. I'll show you. Boom. This is where we were right now. Tops and bottoms. Very simple. Tops and bottoms. Got resistance. Do you know what I mean? So even this is telling us we're going up. So doesn't matter how you use it. Doesn't matter how you use it, right? Whether you do it from the bottom, whether you do it from the top of that market, that 2011, and you just put a straight line through and come back to where we were. Just so from that line, just find the bottoms. In this line, just find the top. And what do you see here? You see the support. This is it. This is the touch point. All of this is the touch point. And that's what you get. You get this data. And this data is suggesting that we're going to have this much for a coin, and we're going to have this much for a coin on the bottom of the market. Bottom of the market, if that makes any sense. Right? That's what it's telling us. You know? Now let me do something else as well, something even more insane. So I'm going to take a line, and all I'm going to do is try and connect this line, this dot, with this dot. Yeah, fair play? Let's try this. So let's do this. Just connect this area to this area and leave it here for a second. And I'm going to change the color to white, so and I'll also take some of these off. this is the top of this 2013. This is the top of the 19. That's all we did, right? Let's move this line a little bit longer. Let's move it longer and let's try and keep it. So all we're focusing on here, but ignore all of this. Just here. Just here. And that's what we've got, right? So you can see, I haven't changed the data. I haven't done anything here. You can see what the data is for what it is. Well, guess what? Where did we find resistance right now? Does that make any sense to you guys? What I'm trying to say here? Does that make any sense to you? Look where we find resistance. So each of these longer time frames, they're all significant. They're all playing this particular part in this game, right? You can see that these are our mega trend lines. This is our median trend line. This is like, so this is an average, right? This is our bottom trend line. This is our top trend line. And so far, we've connected the dots, right? We've connected the dots. And if we were to do a predictive model, we can see, and I'm not going to save this chart, guys, by the way, I'm not going to save this, right? But just by using this, we can see the bottom. Forget the top. Who cares about the top? I don't care if it goes to $1 billion. I'll be happier if it goes to $1 billion. I care about the bottom. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, so I'm going to see 2024, that's the bottom. And I'm going to see 2025, that's the bottom. How is that possible? You know, we know BTC has a halvening, and whenever we have a halvening, we do get a nice little pump and this and that, right? A lot of the time it does price in, right? Is that what's going to happen here? What, you know, we need to understand all of this stuff, right? What's really going to happen? You know, is that going to be priced into the halvening, or are we going to have the pump now, which is going to then take us to those levels and then stabilize here? Is this the actual bottom, or could we pump even further and then create a bottom around there? I don't know, because remember what I said, one of the things that you have to understand is this point here is significant, this is also significant, but we don't have this level here yet. We still have yet to come. So when we have this problem here, this changes everything. This absolutely changes everything. Do you know what I mean? So what we need is, now we know we have to wait for this line to be touched. Maybe it might go up, maybe it might stay below, but this line will be touched. Question is when. We can only hypothesize and say, well, 2024 is this, 2025 is this, and we can even go 2024 here, 2025 there. Doesn't matter. What matters is the base price, if that makes any sense. Base price, that's the key, right? No, it's true what you're talking about. Like, we don't need hundreds of billions of dollars to do this. And I've got about 7-8 minutes worth of battery left, so let me quickly, I think I'm not going to talk about all the other stuff. Let's quickly fly through some of the coins you asked for. Algo, let's do algo. Fly through these, because right now I just realized battery's down. Let's do this. Algo seems super solid, following the channel, following the trend. Obviously we had an all-time high recently, which was super awesome. We got to still get back to this level. This was the original launch price. Let's get back to those levels. So far, as you can see, just on a quick one, boom, we broke the channel. This is the channel, we broke that, and we have invalidated this neck point as well, which is awesome. Now the next target is up. So if we are going to do a target up, let's do one from here to here. We're going to go back to the previous level. You can see here, right? So it's looking at the $2.59. So we might go back to the previous high as long as the market continues. Everything looks, the structure is good. Let's see where it pumps to. Fly out. Let's do another one. I'm going to do these fast, rapid ones, guys. Rapid ones. Dynamo, awesome, bro. I hope you're the real Dynamo, the magician. I love Dynamo, the magician. He's awesome. Theta. I've actually met him in person as well. Theta. Theta. Let's have a look at Theta. Theta. Yeah, suffering like the fate of everything else. Let's see what it does again. Look, you know, those dumps that we got didn't really help. So again, we need to break. We've got a neckline to break. Once we break that neckline, then we're going to get to where we need to get to. But short term, if you look at this, right, not much. Short term, you just break the neckline. We might get back to that $7.35, but that's exactly where that wick is. Look at that. pretty much bang on where that wick is. So yeah, around here, basically that wick here. So it's going to go back to that level, nothing more, nothing too extravagant here. I'm not going to go any further. I know some people would like to see me do this, right? But guys, even that doesn't invalidate what happened here. Do you know what I mean? So patience, that's the key. If you're holding, just hodl. And if you're in profit, then I would recommend start getting out of as many as you can, because it is a crucial time to try and pick your best coins to pump, and then just get rid of the rest. Harmony 1. Let's do Harmony 1. Harmony 1 has been pumping hard. It's been doing a lot of marketing, a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are wising up to this one as well. And you can see this is from way back over there. We did that way back over there. Harmony 1 is recovering very well. In fact, it just broke its neckline. As you can see, it got rejected just like BTC, right? So it's kind of following BTC trend, which is awesome to see. I'm seeing an upward momentum. Everything seems to be okay from where we are, and this is looking awesome. This is not far. It just needs 1 or 2 more pumps to break this neckline. Once it breaks that neckline, we're in a new all-time high territory. So I think that one's going to be really, really awesome. What's the next one? All right, we've got about 6 minutes of battery. 5 minutes of battery. Sorry, 5 minutes. Rune. Let's do Rune. Rune is another level. Rune. The other day, when we were down here, I picked up some Rune, and Rune is doing okay. You can see Rune is kind of following BTC as well. It did break the channel, but again, we're not out of danger yet. If you look carefully, guys, look, we're not out of danger. When you look at this area, we broke the channel, but you can see, look, there's a neckline here we didn't break, right? And there's a mega area here, which is massive resistance here, which we need to break. I think this one's a more important area than this one here right now for us. So I would just say let the market do its thing. If the market's going to pump, then it's going to pump. But so far, look, the trend is okay. The trend is your friend, and you can see on a larger time frame, we can see these area here where we are forming this pattern. We are moving back up again. I think this is going to be really awesome. Zilliqa has been pumping recently because of that XCAD I talked about. So Zil has been pumping, you know, not as great as you can see here, but again, it's just, it went to the bottom, suffered just like everybody else. If you're looking at the charts, you're probably looking at the same thing. You'll probably even think it's the same chart. It's not, guys. That's just the market, how it reacts. When BTC dumps, everything else dumps, and when BTC recovers, everything recovers. This is the, you know, cycle of crypto. You know, currently it still follows BTC. Everything follows BTC. People are confident when BTC is up. People are scared when BTC goes down. That's the rule. Okay, but so far so good. Again, let's have a look and see how far. So from where we are right now, short term, we're only going to look at short term. We can see we might actually pump all the way to 11 cents, which is actually awesome because it actually invalidates this whole area here and will make it positive again. So this is really cool to see, and that gives it a better chance to actually test that as well. Awesome. Next one, brother wants a QSP. Let's have a look. If it's here, I'll have a look at it, because I'm not going to go deep diving on it. QSP is here. Okay. Quant stamp. Okay. No worries. Same. I mean, it just looks like the same as every other chart, right? I don't see any difference. You see how everybody suffered on that same day? That was the fate for every single crypto on that same day. Same story, same pattern, same everything. Doesn't matter what you say. It's, you know, we have to go. Good thing is obviously this neckline here, it has broken, which is really awesome to see. But how far we're going to go, I'm going to keep it short term. It's saying that on the short term, if we did have a nice little pump and we went up, then we would come and test this neckline again, you know, and we need to definitely go a long way. And this is pretty much similar to BTC. It's been following exactly like BTC. So when you look at all of this, guys, again, just sometimes you might as well just look at one specific coin. You know, here you can see there was no correlation to BTC, but since we've come here, it's been pretty much correlated to BTC. Every move BTC is doing is pretty much identical to this as well. So I hope this kind of makes sense. I wouldn't really talk too much about it. Again, be careful. Don't diversify yourself too much. These are not points where you diversify yourself. These are the points where you start managing and saying, okay, if I've made money, I've got to get the hell out and be careful, right? Now, KR was talking about money coming in and out, right? Let me give you a good example. We were sitting here at $1.4 trillion at one point when we were at $65,000. That's what we had here. If that money comes along even now, you could see this sitting at around 3 trillion. So before we were at 2.5, you can see if the money comes back into this, we'll be around 3 trillion, right? We can see Ethereum, I think it went all the way to 400 and something billion or 500 billion. We can see this also catching up at least 50%, right? So easily $700 billion. There's money involved. There's a lot of money involved, right? And it's coming. It's coming because of all the shit that's going on in the world, government crap. I'm telling you, the money's coming, but the money's now sitting on USDT more, because a lot of the people have realized by just holding USDT and locking it up into some staking protocol, some earning protocol, they can earn some interest. And that's what traditional people with too much brain, think that they're doing better on. They want stable currency, they're getting a stable income, they're happy. And remember, these are the same guys who, do a company announcement and say, oh, we've done 10% profit this year. We spent this much money. Same people, 10%. They're not crypto. Crypto, we talk about 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. You know what I mean? I mean, actually, 25%. That's crypto. This is crypto. So, SHIB's on a rip again. So, SHIB's decided to pump again while we're here. So, let's have a quick look at this. Right, seems SHIB is pumping again. And yes, SHIB is pumping again. Actually, the chart I'm showing you is not the chart I was showing you earlier. So let me bring you to the older chart. Here we go. This is the chart I was showing you, and you can see SHIB is now pumping again. SHIB was down here. It just pumped up. How many percent did it pump right now while we were on the live? It pumped 6%. Awesome. So as I said to everybody, I said, guys, it's not time, just patience, right? Patience will reward you. A minute left. It's about to die, critical. So I'm going to shoot. I'm going to cut the stream short today. I'm not going to make it any longer. I'll probably catch up with you guys later on, maybe. I don't know. If I'm free in the evening or something, I'll probably pop in again, do another stream if something pops up. But other than that, I'm hoping that you guys found this valuable, found the information valuable. And so far, listen, the market, as far as I can see, like, actually I can show you this as well quickly. So from what I'm seeing in the market, when I'm looking at, what the hell am I doing? Give me a second, guys. So where is it? Yeah, so from what I'm seeing in the market, right, when I'm looking at these higher time frame, look at this. I'm seeing this getting ready. It's getting ready on a higher time frame, getting ready for that big pump, right? I am seeing, like, for example, on the stochastic RSI and the RSI as well, I'm seeing this kind of a battle zone here, and I've shown you this before as well. When you look at this, you can see how these areas have always been, a bit of a shitty area, and we are trying to come and fight here. That's what it is, just a little resistance here. If we break this neckline, then this becomes a higher high, right? And that's it. You can't stop it anymore, right? So that's what's going to happen. It's all coming. If you look at the daily time frames, you can see, look, we're finding support bang on that line. You don't make it up, right? Of course, we had the stochastic, which was high. This is indicating, guys, overbought, sell a little bit, calm it down a little bit, and then let's move up, which is absolutely healthy when you look at this. These are the kind of data points you want to see. When you're looking at money flow, for example, you can see money's flowing in. We have broken this trend line on a daily. Money's flowing. Look at this. Just complete reversals. The money is coming in. You just don't see it yet, because obviously money's coming in, but money's also being made. When you look at the MACD, look at this. We had a MACD cross, right? 4 or 5 days ago, we had a MACD cross, and it's on a rip. It's coming. So all of the market is indicating very, very bullish. Obviously the charts are not saying the same story, but as I said, this is building a support. So right now, anything is possible. Obviously it's undecided, but it is building a massive support. So other than that, guys, I'm going to make this in longer because, as I said, the bloody battery is about to die. Like, share, subscribe, smash that like button. I'm going to catch you guys on another one very soon. I might do another evening show today, but I'm not quite sure. Let's see how the market goes. If I see the market react there, but today, obviously, the higher probability that we might just hold this as a support. Even tomorrow, I think we're going to be a bit down, and the likelihood of us pumping maybe on Wednesday. So keep an eye on Wednesday. I'm going to say, that's what I'm going to say. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't really predict anything, but I can tell you that probabilities and likelihoods of certain things. So I hope you understand, and just keep an eye on this, because everything is indicating the market wants to move up, and so far what I'm seeing is just massive support created on purpose. These are perfect areas. That's what we need. When we want to move up, we need to create a base, a foundation for us to take, that rocket, lift that rocket. You don't just go and just shoot a rocket from anywhere. You need a foundation. You need a base, and that's the basis being created, and I'm quite happy about that, even though most people would say that's very bearish or that's scary. I'm not scared at all. I think this is getting ready for that level, because when you look at this, when you see how this is created, this particular zone here, it just says to you, wow. That's all I can say. It's just wow, look at this, creating a lovely little base here. It's getting ready. So other than that, like, share, subscribe. Adios, my amigos. I hope to catch you on another one very soon. As I said, I'll let you guys know on Discord also if I am going to go live. If not, then adios, my amigos. I'll see you very soon.